Elbow Love 2 is all about now the extensors and the flexors of the fingers and wrists to help address that medial or lateral discomfort of the golfer's or tennis elbow. So you'll need some kind of box, a flat surface, and I like to use a stick with some weights on it. Barbells work as well. Just note that the barrier to entry is a little bit higher because you're starting with probably 10, 15 or 20 kilos. Sometimes we need a lot less than that, and I like the small plates because the increments are a little bit smaller as well, and we can take our time loading up that connective tissue. So let's say we were talking about golfer's elbow first, or pain on the inside of the elbow here. What we would do, and you can do this with one, I like to do two, and I'll show you the two arm variation in a second, but you could do this with one as well. You could place a weight or something in this hand, make a fist, hold that weight there and resist gravity. You could also then progress that to slowly lowering that weight using assistance from the other hand to reset. And then this way you'd be eccentrically loading those tendons, which is, as we know, we're stronger eccentrically than we are concentrically, so perhaps that's where we would start. But then over time, as you get stronger, you want to be able to curl up. And you should be able to feel something moving as you do this in that general area. Now, with two arms, say you can do two arms, this would be my go-to. So I've got the wrist off the box, but my forearms are supported. From here, I'm going to gently lower the weight down, but watch this, I'm also going to let my palms open and let the weight hang on the end of the fingers, because we've got to remember it's not only the wrist extensors that go through there, also the wrist flexors, sorry, but also the finger flexors. So by going into this fully extended position, we now have to flex the fingers to go up into a fist and continue to flex the wrist to come up all the way. Then we slowly lower with control, opening the hands, the palms, and then reverse it, curling into a fist, and then curling and bending the wrist back towards you, which of course is wrist flexion. And this is the movement you'd be doing for if you have pain on the inside of your elbow. And then it's just a matter of progressively overloading this, doing it for the prescribed reps and sets, and then every so often, once you feel the weight is no longer challenging, adding a little bit more load on. Now for tennis elbow or pain on the outside of the wrist, we're going to do the reverse of this. We're going to have our palms facing the other way, so pronated. And the same thing, you could start with one arm if you needed to, doing the assisted variations, the isometrics, the eccentrics only. But if you're up to it, we can do this two-handed variation. So same thing, but now the palms are facing down. And all I'm going to do is let gravity win by gently lowering. And then I'm going to resist gravity, pull the weight up as high as I can, curling the wrist back towards me. Then I'm going to slowly lower again, all the way, and curl the wrist towards me. Notice the pause at the top, notice the control on the way down. This is the kind of speed I want to see, so you really have ownership, no momentum. Just really trying to work the strength of the wrist extensors here. And again, this top down is for the outside of your elbow, that tennis elbow. Cool? And that is Elbow Love 2, going through extension and flexion of the wrist.